criminals that would, flee the scene in a vehicle, and the NOPD was kind of decreed into not being able to pursue them. Not Troop NOLA, running them down, letting folks know, carjacking, running from police, not going to get away with it. The criminal in New Orleans now, I'm not saying is going to stop being a criminal, but the criminal in New Orleans is now realizing, boy, however they want, however their mind works, but it boils down to proactive policing instead of reactive policing. Proactive policing instead of reactive policing. On Sundays, you don't see 20 four-wheelers or dirt bikes taking over Claiborne Avenue or Carrollton and popping wheelies and across all three lanes. You don't see that. You don't see four-wheelers tooling around the city much anymore because the word is spreading. Exactly what I was talking about. They're illegal. You confiscate them. You seize the thing, the four-wheeler. No four-wheeler should be allowed anywhere in New Orleans unless it's like in your backyard. And that's it. You can't even pull it out on the street. It's like a golf cart doesn't have license plate or brake tag or brake lights or seat belts or any of that. It's not street legal. No, just the little crap like that. Sunday four-wheelers. There's a video on my YouTube if you go to it. Under videos, I'm on Claiborne. I'm right in a pack of 20 four-wheelers shooting video from my car. The only thing I was worrying about was the guy like 30 yards in front of me popping wheelies. I mean, where his back is almost touching the ground. If he does flip that thing over, I'm going to run him over. I'm going to have to go up on the neutral ground or something like that. So no, just little stuff. The drifting. When's the last time you've seen drifting? I mean, drifting is bad enough when it's like Franklin and, St. Claude. Fillmore and Elysian Fields. It's bad enough when it's anywhere. But when it's on I-10, the downside of the high rise coming into the city, literally, that's just crazy and unacceptable. And that's where it was going. It was going to where I'm going to do it on the I-10 and shut down the interstate for a second. Now you don't see the drifting. None of this stuff. It's just violent crime has been greatly diminished in New Orleans. It is multiple things. But Troop NOLA is one of the major cogs on that wheel. We've had Superintendent Hodges on the program. We'll have to get him on again. I didn't realize it was the 1-year anniversary until today. No, they're not even at, full capacity. They've got a few more dozen troopers they need to bring in to get Troop NOLA up to where they want it to be. I mentioned Troy Henry joining us to start the 5 o'clock Power Hour on a Thursday. The Wall Street Journal has an article. Wall Street Journal, yeah, that newspaper. Why New Orleans is rallying to save a trash collector. AG Liz Murrow. This is just, for me, strictly politics. There's not even a gray area. It's strictly black and white. And these are strictly political maneuvers. These politicians cannot lose. When they lose, they win. And the chances of losing are 99 out of 100. The fluke they win, they're like a superhero. But the goal is just to be putting up the fight, and that is good enough for their base. AG Liz Murrow asking for a full review of the 10 Commandments law from the appeals court, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. Some folks say the Fifth Circuit here in New Orleans, one of the most conservative courts in America. they ruled against the 10 Commandments being posted in classrooms in Louisiana. This one is vanilla. It's easy. The only folks that don't understand it are the folks that don't choose to understand it. You know, do I get their mentality? No. Do I have empathy where I understand it? Not where I understand it like where it's reasonable, but I understand where they're coming from. It's the 10 Commandments. It's only good stuff. Any reasonable person, you don't even have to believe in God. These are just like an ethics and moral code. And then, when that doesn't work, it's history. It's like the Declaration of Independence, like any historical document. And it's not. It's a religious document. I talk about January 6th. If it were like Democrats or black folks attacking the Capitol, the folks that downplay it would be freaking out. The folks that are embracing the 10 Commandments in the classroom and don't understand all this, these communists that don't want it. If it were like the 7 tenets of Buddhism, which are all good, positive things, a good way to live. There's no negatives there. If it were the 7 tenets of Buddhism, these same folks would be freaking out. Their way is fine, but my God, your way is crazy. I can drive down the road, but you drive down the road? No way. That's insane. It's like, wow. That's the great thing about America. It's tough. It isn't easy, but it takes everybody into account. It's everybody or nothing, You want to go with the 10 Commandments, then the 7 tenets of Buddhism, some stuff out of the Quran, all of that's going to be posted right next to it in every public school classroom. Or nothing. Or nothing. That's the easy answer. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser says a week from Monday, July 11th, that LIV Golf press conference, the announcement of next summer, around this time, June, July, next year, I think in between the U.S. and British Opens, LIV Golf New Orleans, 54-hole professional tournament at an enhanced City Park South golf course. Speaking of City Park, a master plan announced yesterday. Speaking of golf, Top Golf, we mentioned this yesterday. We talked about this a lot with Michael Heck, that Top Golf ain't coming. It doesn't appear they're coming. I've talked about how time kills deals. Time kills deals. No, this Top Golf was announced like years ago. And then selfish New Orleanians that are just looking out for themselves, with lawsuits and time on their hands to preserve the neighborhood. Just no, preserve what you like right now. You don't want any change. It's like Bywater residents don't want the Elysian Hotel on Elysian Fields, don't want any condos on the river. It's crazy. The riverfront, the lakefront should be lined with condos and apartments and people living out there, embracing the waterfront. Es loco. Corey Johnson with you till 6.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
I tell you what, Francesca is worth driving to from anywhere in the metro area. You could be in Kenner, West Bank, Uptown. Francesca in Lakeview, not just for Lakeview, Lakefront, and kind of New Metairie folks, for everybody. A full deli and great pizza and just a great spot right there. The old Charlie's Deli location for you old timers in between Canal Boulevard and West End on Harrison Avenue. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria. Boy, Harrison Avenue in between, Marconi or the Orleans Avenue Canal, and really all the way through to like Fleur de Lis, to Bel Air Drive, basically, to the, I guess from the Orleans Parish Canal to the 17th Street Canal. Harrison Avenue, I'm guessing that's about a 1.5 mile corridor right there, maybe 2 miles tops. I don't even think it's 2 miles. It's a lot of investment, continued investment, more stuff coming online. I mean, in between West End and Canal Boulevard, like where Francesca is, there wasn't too much else there, but like old Charlie's Deli, now Francesca, maybe like 2 or 3 other things. Now there's like a couple of dozen businesses on that stretch. Couple of banks, coffee shops, all kind of stuff. Real estate offices, title companies, another building under construction. It's pretty impressive. It's like Metairie Road. Metairie Road from like LeBar to Causeway. You must have $100 million in investment. Literally like $100 million in investment between LeBar and Causeway on Metairie Road. I remember driving by the old Galley Seafood. It sat by itself. It was hard to miss. It's a big lot surrounding it. Green field, a big sign in front, nothing around it. You're 100 yards from Galley Seafood. You see that sign and big green yard and the building in the back. Now it's in a little slot. If you blink, you'll pass Galley Seafood. I guarantee you, people that have never been are like, man, where is it? It's like, yeah, you passed it. Hook a U-turn, you passed it. So much stuff going on Metairie Road in between LeBar and Causeway, and a pretty good amount of stuff going on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. And then, my God, the Ferret Jet. That's what it used to be called. Now it's the Ferret Slow. I used to live like off Broadway by the river. almost by like the old Uptown Square Shopping Center, like in between like the $1 million houses on Broadway over to the park and, the Black Pearl towards River Road, right in between, right in the middle. And boy, the gentrification going on in the Black Pearl, incredible. But to traverse, like if you had to go, I had to get, say, downtown, or Garden District or something. It ain't easy when you're up there like Broadway, by the river. Because Tchoupitoulas probably isn't the answer. Just getting from Broadway to Tchoupitoulas like it Henry Clay and Tchoupitoulas takes 10 minutes, And then St. Charles Avenue is definitely not the answer. My God, where it's one lane by the park, you get people doing 10 miles an hour on there. And it doesn't go into 4 lanes. You have 2 lanes in each direction to Louisiana. So that ain't the answer. Claiborne's way down there, Claiborne's probably the best shot. Then you kind of come all the way back up to the river. So it's kind of, lengthening the trip. The Ferret Jet was the answer, especially between Jefferson and Napoleon. You could just whiz through there. There was like Ferret Hardware and Ferret Paint. There was like a Domino's Pizza. You had the donut shop. You had the tire shop. I mean, I'm starting to run out of things you had on Ferret back in the day. And then you had a few little places pop up. And then your boy Matthew Conkey and Bodenheimer with Cure Bar. When they opened Cure, I was like, that's in the hood, basically, on Ferret in between Jefferson and Napoleon. And I'm not scared to go over there. I'm like, but some people probably won't go because it's on Ferret in between Jefferson and Napoleon. But Matthew Conkey and Bodenheimer were visionaries. And that street went from being the Ferret Jet to the Ferret Slow. You go by that Rouse's on Ferret and Valence, like right in between Napoleon and Jefferson on Ferret. I mean, you do a 360, stand on a corner and do a 360. There might be 100 people around you, like 100. That Val's place, the little Mexican joint. It's just a lot of people walking around Ferret now. And I would guess businesses, I mean, it went from like under a dozen at most. I'm thinking like 6 or 8, 15, 20 years ago, literally, to about, you can multiply that by 10, like maybe from 5, 6 to 50 or 60. Are there 50 businesses on Ferret in between Jefferson and Napoleon? There's a lot. If there's not 50, there's dozens and dozens and dozens. No, it's pretty amazing what's gone on Ferret, Oak Street. Pretty amazing stuff. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. Yeah, you right. Troy Henry's going to join us to start the 5 o'clock powwow. Henry Consulting. We'll find out about the trash contract, Six Flags, all kind of stuff. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser joined us on the program yesterday. He was pretty critical of Troy Henry, very critical of the mayor. He also said a week from this Monday, July 11th, the governor will be in New Orleans. Big announcement. LIV Golf coming to City Park South. I guess that's my opportunity, Miss Peaches. I just happened to be at the Chop House about a year ago now. It's a joke. It was like a year ago. Okay. I think it was like last, I want to say August. And bumped into Jeff Landry, the governor. He was coming out of the bathroom. I was going in. Shook hands with him. State trooper was right there waiting for him. Introduced myself. He seemed to know who it was in the show. And I said, love to get you on the program. He said, love to do it. Sounds like a good time. And I said, now, Governor, if you've ever checked it out, I'm like, just going to be honest with you. I can be pretty critical of what you do and what you're about. But, I'm pretty fair and objective, and I'd like to have you on the show. I'm not going to beat you up. He goes, sounds like fun. He was into it. He's smiling. Let's do it. Talked to my girl. It gave me the name, all that. Thank you. Finally, after like 3 or 4 months, I mean, I kind of was getting fed up with just the back and forth. And I think, what ended it with me and his press secretary, media person, I should say, was, when are we doing this? Not, hey, good morning, none of that. Just an email. When are we doing this? Question mark. The request was in August. We're like in December now. I counted the emails I've sent you. It's 19. Are we doing this or not? And that kind of like ended the whole thing. So I guess I'm going to go to City Park on July 11th. Hopefully it's not sometime, but when my show's going on. And I'm going to have to go up to the governor and say, Governor, good meeting you again. Reintroduce myself. We're supposed to do, a segment on the show. And I don't know where me and your girl got our wires crossed, but I'm telling you, I can't do 20 emails in 3 months. You're either going to do it or not. It'll be within a few weeks. You're the governor. I get it. But I can't do 3 months and 20 emails and just this. And you're going on like with Newell Norman on WWL. You're on with Moon Griffon statewide. It's a bunch of, what's your favorite color? Do you like caramel popcorn or buttered? I don't have time for any of that. I don't have time for 20 emails, and I don't have time to hear him 3 times on other shows with softball pitches. I'm not out to get the governor. I'm not out to attack the governor at all. I will respect Jeff Landry as the governor. I like a lot of what Jeff Landry's doing. He's proven me wrong on a lot of things. But I'm not out to, Moon Griffon or kiss the governor's rear end either. It's not my buddy. He's not my friend. Not my enemy. Not out to attack him. Not out to kiss his butt. Just do a legitimate journalistic interview, a real interview. A lot of it will be positive now. There's a lot of positive things I like Troop NOLA in New Orleans, a year now. Now, Troop NOLA was not the brainchild of Jeff Landry. Troop NOLA existed before, but it went away. Jeff Landry brought it back, and with some oomph. So I credit Jeff Landry for bringing it back and making this modern-day Troop NOLA what it is. He deserves all the credit there. A year in, 500 arrests. They have definitely made a difference. Definitely. If you take out like Columbus, Ohio, which has a larger population than Metro New Orleans, but is like a big town. If you take out, I think it's Columbus, and that's about it. New Orleans is like 4th on biggest decrease in violent crime in America, but we're really like number 1. Like outside of Columbus, the other 2 are like towns, really, like small areas. New Orleans is really the biggest legitimate city, a real city for hundreds of years. And we have one of the largest decreases in violent crime in America, outpacing national trends. People go, man, there's a decrease in violent crime all across America, in all cities. It's true. New Orleans is outpacing that trend. We're doing better than everybody else in the reduction of violent crime. No, you can feel it. I know there's a lot of people out there that live in the suburbs and they don't like coming into New Orleans. I'm scared of New Orleans, don't want to come in, I'm not going to go. I hear you. I even when violent crime was real and carjacking and all of that was going on, folks parking downtown to go to a concert, they come back, their windows busted out. I'm still going to the concert. I'm still going to Irene's in the Quarter. I'm still going to Bayonne in the Quarter. I'm still going. I'm not abandoning New Orleans. Not happening. Still going to go. Now, there's really no excuses. There's no excuses. Too many damn good restaurants in New Orleans to not come here. Are you kidding? Too much good stuff. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. Speaking of, Katie's in Mid-Cities with you. Iberville, corner Talamacas. If you know where Angelo Bricato's ice cream joint is, couple of blocks behind that. A mid-city mainstay full of New Orleans goodies. New Orleans specialties, lots of great fresh local seafood tonight for dinner. Katie's, Iberville, corner Talamacas in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive complex is something called Quick Lane. tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Have that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. In about 25 minutes, we start the 5 o'clock powwow with Troy Henry from Henry Consulting. He, of course, has the trash contract for the French Quarter come August 1st. Well, at least that appears to be the case. No, I'm not some lightweight, and I'll tell Troy Henry exactly what I've been saying. Troy, I'll open up with this probably. It only seems fair that IV Waste finished till December, and you didn't have your you-know-what together when it was needed, and that's why IV Waste had to come in with this emergency deal. Maybe in August or September, the city will have a trash contract out for bid for the same area, the French Quarter and the CBD, starting in January in 6 months. And maybe you win that, and you'll get that 8 years, $73 million deal. But it just doesn't seem like the citizens are being looked out for on this deal right now. The fair thing, and I don't live in the quarter, but I like what IV Waste is doing, and I see what they're doing, and everyone sees it, and the citizens that live in the quarter and the business owners that own business in the quarter, they love it. So, and even outside of that, I mean, you come into New Orleans, you get a contract, they cancel it midway through. I mean, it's an emergency contract. You hire additional employees, you might buy additional equipment, then all of a sudden it goes away. It's only a year. What do I need to invest to do this for a year? And then 6 months in, it goes away. It doesn't send a good message out. It's like canceling of the Mid-Barataria diversion project. If you don't think some construction companies and engineering firms invested lots of money, millions of dollars, into being in New Orleans and working on that project for years because it's a $3 billion project, and then the governor basically on a whim and Gordon Dove just 86 that project that had been studied for 20 years, bipartisan support, Republican, Democrat governors and legislators, overcoming all kind of hurdles and crap. Bureaucracy to get something done like that, $3 billion. No, just cancel it on a whim. No, it sends out a terrible message. No one talks about that. Everyone wants to act like that doesn't exist or downplay it at the very least. No, it's real. Engineering firms that invested millions in equipment and personnel and coming down here and now shutting down the office and selling off the equipment and rolling their eyes and like never coming to Louisiana again. No, it just doesn't send a good message. For sure. That's reality. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. Yeah, Troy Henry to start the 5 o'clock powwow. We'll talk about the trash contract. We'll talk about Six Flags, progress or not being made there. And also Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser and what he said about Troy Henry yesterday. He's like, get the trash contract, don't own a trash company. Got the janitorial contract at the airport, don't own a janitorial service company. Got the Six Flags development contract, aren't a developer. Just why a middleman? Give the contract to someone that's in that business. There's a lot of, legitimacy. There's a lot of truth to that comment from Billy Nungesser, but there's nothing against the law, and it's not only New Orleans and Louisiana that does this. A lot of places, I would say most in America. I would say the exceptions are no middleman. You've got to be in that business to get the contract. But it's ironic. What caused IV Waste to have to come in and bid on that emergency deal and win it and start cleaning up is because of that exact situation, the subcontractor. Troy Henry had to sub it out to Richards, and Richards and Troy Henry had a feud. Troy Henry a little bit after 5 o'clock, right here, live on the Neutral Ground. Stick around for that. Should be good, because it's me doing the interview. It's me doing the interview. I love an exclusive, and it's just like Drew Brees down the dial when he played for the Saints. It was like, what's your favorite ice cream? Do you like a sweatband that's 2 inches or a 3-inch sweatband? Why do you pull your tube socks up? It's softball stuff. No one's paying attention. No one's listening because you're not learning anything. After 2 or 3 shows, you're like, I can miss that. It's must not listen to radio. No, like the mayor, the sheriff, they go on the friendly station, which ironically Troy Henry owns a piece of that. It's crazy that I forgot about this. I'm glad I'm mentioning this. I'll have to ask Troy about this. One of his radio station's talk show hosts works at the sheriff's department full time. Has the sheriff on all the time, and it's just a big butt kissing. It's softball pitch after softball pitch. This guy, this former FM DJ, just lightweight, has no depth, no knowledge, no stake in the game, just no respect for the microphone, just winging it, saying one thing on one day and the opposite the next day, saying stuff that is anti-Jewish, anti-white, anti-female, just all the time, anti-Asian, just all kind of crazy stuff. Not prepared. Has the mayor on and just kisses her rear end. It's a joke. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. I'm like, don't you have any pride? Any honor? No integrity, no ethics, no morals, just Get Susan Hudson on and just softball pitch. You're the greatest. You're doing a great job. We love you. The community loves you. And then Sheriff Hudson hires this guy full time. Like he's either getting canned at the radio station or they're cutting down his hours or something. Something's not going down good with him. And Susan Hudson comes in and rescues the day. Hey, how about y'all keep him on the air and I'll pay his salary? This is a full-time sheriff's office employee, benefits, full-time salary, with no law enforcement experience at all, zero. What he does, I have no idea, except kiss the sheriff and mayor's rear end when he does his talk radio show. I mean, talk about a conflict of interest and just, I don't know, it's 2025. People do all kind of crazy stuff today. And, ethics and integrity and morals and all that. It doesn't seem to matter. It doesn't seem to matter with politicians. Doesn't seem to matter with media types. Just crazy. I don't know where this world's gone. It's crazy. By the way, I'm now wearing my pants in between my waist and my knees. I just have my boxer shorts showing. My belt is literally in between my waist and my knees. And my pants are always falling down, so I'm limited. It's like a car with a stick shift. I need one hand to hold my pants up. Miss Peaches is telling me, Corey, that's like 2000. You're improving from 1975, but you're not at 2025 with the pants thing. That's old school now. That would be considered old school. Hey, Latrim, I guess they'd be considered old school. J.M. LaPere invented the shrimp peeling machine in the late 40s, early 50s. Invented the shrimp peeling machine, the authentic shrimp peeling machine. No longer peeling shrimp by hand. Amazing. Invented it in uptown New Orleans. J.M. LaPere. He invented the alternating tread stair. This guy was a genius. Alternating tread stair is basically in between a stair and a ladder. Like literally and figuratively, like takes up half the space of a stair, but doesn't go straight up like a ladder. Wherever you put your foot, that's where a pad is to go up. So there's a space on either side. And you can carry a box while going up. In industrial complexes and manufacturing facilities, ships, shipyards. Hell, there's a LaPere stair if you're coming off the causeway to the South Shore. You're coming from the North Shore into Metairie. You got Lakeway 3 right there on your right, those 3 towers. You can see a yellow LaPere stair at the top of the parking garage. About 4 floors up, you'll see the yellow LaPere stair going into the building. You can see it from the causeway. No, there's folks that have like stainless steel LaPere stairs in their house to get to like a loft. No, the alternating tread stair, the shrimp peeling machine, the all-plastic modular conveyor belt, hundreds of worldwide patents at this New Orleans company, Latrim, a worldwide leader. I saw a guy today. I was at Smoothie King, my Smoothie King right there in Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard. He had on the Latrim shirt. I'm like, you work for Latrim? He goes, yep. I go, man, great company to work for. He goes, yep. I said, not too many companies in New Orleans like that. That's a great worldwide leader to work for. He goes, I know it, man. He goes, I've been there a long time. I was like, I bet. Why would you ever leave that? I got news for you. You can join that guy. 1,400 folks in Elmwood, a few hundred on the North Shore at their I-12 facility. Latrim is hiring, and their website doesn't have like 2 or 3 openings. It's got dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of openings. They're looking for you. Go to Latrim.com right now. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, Latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. Full slate. Boy, we got a good 5 o'clock power hour coming up. Troy Henry will join us to start the hour. Troop NOLA a year in, 500 arrests in a year, 500 plus arrests. A big decrease in violent crime in New Orleans. They're a big part of it. And they're not done. They're bringing in more troopers. Wall Street Journal article. Why New Orleans is rallying to save a trash collector. AG Liz Murrow asking for a full review of the 10 Commandments law or Fifth Circuit ruling. This one's so easy and cut and dried. It's unconstitutional. It's easy. I love the 10 Commandments. I'm Christian. I'm a Catholic New Orleanian, for crying out loud. It's unconstitutional. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser says a week from this Monday, July 11th, the LIV golf announcement will come down. They're coming a year from now to City Park. Professional golf at City Park. Speaking of City Park, the master plan. Boy, it's hot out there, a scorcher. If you need air conditioning help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. If you need AC help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance. tm-ac.com.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Here's the mouth of the South.
Loud noises!
Corey Johnson.
I know that you knew that I'd be listening.
Changing talk radio in New Orleans for the better. Cox Channel 4 Television, Spectrum Channel 333 Television, live streaming at CoreyTalks.com.
Hey, very happy about this. A new client, a new advertiser on the program. I like talking about the best. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville, right across the street from Trey Yen. right across the causeway for you South Shore folks, right across the bridge, no driving, immediately on your right behind that Shell station by Aquista Pace Grocery in Mandeville, 527 East Causeway Approach, Gallagher's 527. And you North Shore folks, right at the foot of the causeway. Open for lunch Tuesday through Friday. I was in there yesterday for lunch. Fantastic. Dinner Tuesday through Saturday night. They're closed on Sunday and Monday. Gallagher's 527. You folks that live on the South Shore that maybe have heard of Gallagher's or maybe not, if you love fine dining, if you love great New Orleans food, a lot of you folks in Uptown and in Old Metairie, you love Lakeview, you love to dine out. And there's lots of great places on the South Shore, no doubt. That's where most of them are. I'm telling you, one of the best restaurants in the entire metro area. As good of a meal as you're going to get just about anywhere, you'll find at Gallagher's 527. If you like steaks and lamb chops sizzling in butter, seafood gumbo, turtle soup, the crab meat St. Francis I've been raving about. What a great appetizer. Jumbo lump crab meat in this little ramekin. Piping hot, fantastic. Pompano, redfish, tuna, gulffish amandine, pecan-crusted catfish meuniere, bacon-wrapped shrimp, bacon-wrapped oysters, scallops, the seafood merlaton. Yeah, dishes like that. Sweet potato casserole. It's special. It's so good. It's excellent. You won't be disappointed. Chef-driven delicacies. Pat Gallagher's place. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. So good. So damn good. Yeah, yesterday I started out with a cup of gumbo. Then I had the crab meat St. Francis. And then the shish kebab. 4 big chunks of filet sizzling in butter with green beans. What's not to like? Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Thursday, heading towards the weekend. I love getting this guy on the program. I love people that care. I love people that are the best at what they do. I love people that are just grinders. They just work. You call them, they're there all the time. It could be a Sunday. This guy's been trying to help Louisiana, New Orleans, for 35 plus years. He runs and operates the Humane Society of Louisiana. You can check them out on Facebook. They're always updating photos with a sentence or paragraph underneath explaining exactly what's going on. I promise you this. If you go to the Humane Society of Louisiana on Facebook, you'll immediately go to their website and donate because they're doing great stuff. HumaneLA.org. HumaneLA.org. Jeff Dorson joins us live again. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, thanks for that wonderful introduction. And I forgot to charge my phone, so don't take it personal. If I get cut off, you'll have to fill in for me, but I'll do my best.
All right, man. Let's get going real quickly. I'll try to shut up and let you get going. Fill us in, Jeff. What, you got this lemonade thing going? This is genius. Tell us about it.
Well, we had a wonderful young woman. She was a kid, 7 years old at the time, 12 years ago. She's now a freshman or sophomore in college. Jency on the North Shore saw one of our newsletters about starving horses, turned to her parents and said, I want to help. That should be our motto as citizens of this planet. I want to help.
Plus, coming from a 7-year-old.
I'm going to raise money for these starving horses. So she enrolled her 5-year-old sister, Gemma, and they had a lemonade stand, 50 cents a cup. They raised $160, which is pretty remarkable for 50 cents a cup. And we promoted her idea to other kids. So soon we had kids in 10, 15, 20 parishes, and it was wonderful. COVID knocked it out. We're bringing it back. We want kids to do their thing, feel good about helping animals at a young age. How can you go wrong?
No, you're right. That's coming up, at the end of July, statewide lemonade weekend for animals.
That's it. And we send you beautiful, official, colorful posters. You get your parents' permission. You put a little stand in front of a business or your home, and you go at it, and it should be a lot of fun. And it helps. these kids rack up a couple $100, send it to us, and they feel good the rest of the summer. They made a difference.
Jeff Dorson's with us from the Humane Society of Louisiana. You can go to their website right now, humanela.org, and donate $5, $10, $100. humanela.org. Hey, Jeff, up in Claiborne Parish, this guy gets arrested. Police, no one checks on his dogs in the house, and it's a mess. Days later, you get in there, a bunch of starving dogs, 8 of them total. How are those dogs doing? And how is the GoFundMe going to, pay for their medical needs and to get them ready for adoption?
Thanks for asking all good questions. We need more help. 8 dogs, one dog requires $500 to $1,000 to get them adoption ready. Multiply that by 8. So if everybody chips in 5 or 10, it's not that big a stretch. But if you don't, it puts a real burden on us. We can't do the next case until we pay for the first one.
Yep.
So help us out. And, those dogs need our attention, love, and care. 2 weeks without food and water, they barely made it. And
wow.
Who can blame them? I don't know how they did it.
No, it's sickening. It really is. Yeah. 8 dogs. It's going to be about $1,000 a dog. Jeff needs about $8,000. So go to humanela.org and donate. Let's save some of these dogs. It's that simple. Exactly. It's not a joke. It's not fake. It's not Jeff's going to the Bahamas for the next 2 weeks and there are no dogs. There are 8 starving dogs that he saved. The Humane Society saved, and it's going to cost money to get them back to full health, and then boring them and or someone fostering them until they get adopted. So feeding them, all that, shots, vaccinations, maybe surgery required, heartworms, all kind of things.
You know your stuff as well as I do. Thanks for all that, and it helps. Whenever I'm on your show, Corey, we do get the 5 or 10 or 15, and it adds up every week. I want to thank you again for this time, and you're just a great promoter because you care and you live it too.
It's easy when you care and you live it, so I'll give you that. But knowing it like you, and it's not even close, and the amount of time, Jeff, that you put into this, the dedication, honestly, I worry sometimes about you getting burned out or getting like a PTSD or something like that, man.
I'm good.
Good.
Check in next week.
Blue Boy says thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Corey.
humanela.org. That's the website to donate. humanela.org. Stick around. Troy Henry from Henry Consulting joins us next.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint. Supply.
You right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. It is indeed New Orleans, Louisiana. Thanks so much for joining us. 5 o'clock powwow brought to you by Helm Paint and Decorating. Paint ain't paint. Best paint on the planet, Benjamin Moore. Helm Paint and Decorating in New Orleans and in Baton Rouge. Yeah, Baton Rouge, Tigertown, 4 locations. Plus free 2-hour delivery. And don't forget about Metro New Orleans. 7 locations like Gretna. You West Bankers. This store covers the entire West Bank. So this store caters and delivers to everyone on the West Bank, from Belle Chase to Boutique, from Marrero to Morgan City, and beyond. If you're on the West Bank, anywhere on the West Bank, Helm has you covered. Free 2-hour delivery. You folks on the North Shore, if you work or live in the Hammond area, Hammond, Ponchatoula, Springfield, Robert, anywhere in that general area, Helm is your go-to paint store for the best paint on the planet, Benjamin Moore. And they deliver to all these communities absolutely free within 2 hours. Don't leave home. Don't leave the job site. If you need more paint, more supplies, Helm comes to you. Keep the crew working. Even more big news for Helm locations. Helm Paint and Decorating has opened a brand new uptown location, 5300 Tchoupitoulas. That's Tchoupitoulas at Jefferson Avenue. That big shopping complex with the Winn-Dixie. Helm has moved their Magazine Street store to Tchoupitoulas. Much easier parking right in front of the store. Get everything you need in and out quickly. But as always, the Tchoupitoulas store will continue to deliver the best paint on the planet, Benjamin Moore, directly to you within 2 hours. Helm Paint and Decorating. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, do it once. Do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. Helm Paint and Decorating. 5 o'clock power hour. Troy Henry joins us from Henry Consulting. How you doing, Troy?
Oh, I'm great, Corey. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah. Loud and clear, man. How's everything going?
Oh, just a little bit busy, but otherwise we're doing just fine, man. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Summer, hot. But, just keep rolling along. Hey,
hard time hearing you a little bit, Corey. It sounds like you're far away.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? Is that any better?
A little bit better, yes.
All right. I was saying summertime, hot, all that. But
oh my goodness,
we'll get through it.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, are you anticipating cleaning up the French Quarter in the CBD August 1st, or is that up in the air? There's still some I's that need to be dotted, T's that need to be crossed.
Yeah, we're anticipating probably July 31st instead of August 1st, but yes.
Oh, yeah, the end of July or August 1st. I got you. Correct. So one of those 2 days that the IV waste emergency contract ends and you will take over, according to the mayor and how things are going right now.
I think I can hear you, Corey. Say it again.
According to the mayor and how things are going, you would take over on August 1st.
Yeah, their termination agreement, from what I understand, it ends on the 30th. They've been notified that it ends on the 30th of July. And so we anticipate probably the 31st of July commencing with the work.
Hey, Troy, what happened when you originally won the contract? You and Richards got into a dispute. Essentially, you could say you guys didn't have your you-know-what together to start the contract in January. Is that accurate?
We were prepared technically. We just when it was time to put in the subcontract agreement, first the sequence normally goes where it's I as the prime negotiate with the city to get a agreement with the city. Then after that, we in turn negotiate with our subcontractors based upon that prime contractor agreement. And when it was time to negotiate the prime sub agreement, we couldn't reach an agreement on some key parameters. And so we had embarked upon actually replacing Richards at one point in time. And that kind of caused Richards complained about it to the city council. And as a result, it kind of, gave some fodder for a couple of politicians to use it as an opportunity to hurt anybody that is an Oliver Thomas supporter. And that's what they did.
How did the Oliver Thomas part come into play?
Well, I'm a big supporter of Oliver. I think everybody knows that. And as a result, they didn't want to see anybody that's a supporter of Oliver running against the Moreno-Morel combination having any degree of success. That's my opinion. Because even we followed the protocols for substituting a subcontractor that the city has in place. And even though we followed everything that the city said that we were supposed to do, the city council still made a spectacle out of it as a result of that. So I believe, it's my opinion, but I believe it was purely politically based and not based upon the merits of changing a subcontractor. Primes change subs all the time.
Now, you were going to go to what? Serve Pro?
Richards?
You were going to go to Serve Pro after the Richards wasn't working?
Say that again?
You were going to use Serve Pro, I think is the name?
No, Clean Force.
Clean Force. Now, does Clean Force own trucks?
Clean Force leases their trucks. They don't own them.
So, it would be a subbing to a sub, kind of, right?
No. Look, we lease equipment all the time for business projects. You don't have to own it in order to use it. That's just a financing strategy.
No. I get that.
Okay.
But are they a trash, hauler by trade, or do they, when they get a contract, they lease trucks? I don't know. It's just Billy Nungesser joined me on the program yesterday, Troy, and I mentioned the trash contract, and he very much likes wants IV to go through till December, and he mentioned you, and he mentioned Oliver Thomas, and he said Troy Henry gets a trash contract. He doesn't own a trash company. He gets an airport janitorial contract, doesn't own a janitorial service. Gets the Six Flags development site in the developer. What do you say to Billy Nungesser and those three things? And I'm ad-libbing, but that's essentially what he said.
Essentially what he's trying to characterize me as, and a guy like him that's lieutenant governor ought to get his facts straight first before he starts trying to cast aspersions on my company. And without, starting a name-calling contest, I'll just say that's a dumb statement on his part.
Well, I wasn't defending you or defending him. I just said there's cities and municipalities, I'm sure, that you have to be in that business to get it. And I'm sure most you can have a sub in the middle and they go get the person. I don't know what
kind of business structures, and for a sitting lieutenant governor to begin advocating for a single private business, to me, is an ethical violation on his part. And I mean, if he's true to his mission that he was actually called to do, he would say that I want the French Quarter clean, not I want a certain vendor. The FBI usually investigates people that try to steer contracts towards specific companies. And I would just tell him to be careful, because he's very close to violating federal laws around steering public officials attempting to steer contracts.
It appears French Quarter folks and businesses love what IV Waste is doing in the quarter. The contract doesn't call for them to do everything they're doing. How do folks know when you come in that the service level will be the same or even greater than what IV Waste is doing?
I guess I'll have to wait and see. Because, look, the contract is very clear on what our obligations are.
Right.
Okay, and we're going to meet the needs. We're going to meet or exceed the requirements of our contract, and we'll do an exemplary job. I mean, just look at the work that we've done everywhere we worked. Airport's been voted the cleanest airport 4 out of the last 5 years, and that's because of my team. Downtown has never been cleaner than it is right now. That's because of my team. The French Quarter will also be cleaner than it's ever been, and that will be because of my team. Most importantly, we won the bid. IV Waste finished third, okay? So if they wanted to do the deal, they should have won. They lost. Now they're just attempting a backdoor approach to keeping a contract that they lost.
I disagree a little, Troy. I mean, how I look at it just from outside, I'm like, Troy Henry had a sub, Richards. They didn't have their you-know-what together. The city had no choice but to come up with the emergency contract. IV was through December. And then maybe in like August or September, there's a bid for January 26th and on.
I disagree.
Let me ask you. Let me just ask you this.
It was an emergency contract that wasn't a fixed year. It was an emergency contract to hold over until any matters had to be resolved. This was all fabricated by the city council. Look, they could have approved our contract in the first place without Richards. They could have done that, and they should have done that. Okay, that's what the law says they're supposed to do.
So you can bring in any sub you want?
No, I had to follow an approval process that the city granted me. The city approved my subcontractor, Clean Force. So I followed the protocol for changing a subcontractor and got the approval from the city to do that. But they used that, the city council used that as a basis to try to help their good friend, Mr. Torres.
Troy Henry's with us from Henry Consulting. We're kind of running out of time, Troy, because I wanted to ask you about Six Flags too. We'll probably have to do that another time. One real point I want to make: you're a part owner at WBOK Radio, right?
Yep.
Gerard Stevens is a full-time employee with the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Department. You're aware of that?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Now, he goes on the show all the time and has the sheriff on and kind of kisses her rear end. That's not, as a owner of that station, not worried about like integrity or conflict of interest there. It's gets the mayor on, same thing. But working full-time for the sheriff, having the sheriff on and softball pitches all the time, I don't know if that's the best thing, huh?
I don't think I would characterize it that way, Corey. I mean, you're welcome to characterize it that way. That's not how we characterize it. We have a lot of great shows. I don't believe in casting any aspersions on WBOK. I think we do a great job of informing the community and having outstanding guests on. The sheriff may be one, the mayor may be another. We had the governor on as well. So, look, we have guests on, and if you have a problem with the way a question was asked or the way something was done, then take it up with the general manager of the station.
Oh, I don't care that much. I mean, I have you on this show, and I listen to BOK, and I have one of your co-owners on, Jeff, all the time, and Jeff's got lots of opinions, and
So that doesn't mean that somehow, you're because you know us, that you're somehow tainted either. No, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, no, I'm not at all. But also, I think, it is what it is. Like, people can listen to this interview and say, Corey attacked Troy, Corey kissed Troy's butt, Corey did a good journalistic job, whatever. People can have their view. I listened to Gerard Stevens interviewing the sheriff, and I think it's just a big butt-kissing softball. It's horrible. It's a low-integrity thing. Gerard should know better. He's been in radio 30 years, but as the owner of the station, isn't it a conflict that he's a full-time sheriff's department employee and yet has the sheriff on as a guest? How can he be fair if she's paying him?
I'm sorry. What'd you say again?
How can he be fair if she's paying him?
Well, Gerard has a responsibility when he's in that position. He does what he does. I mean, that just because you have to interview your boss doesn't mean that you have to take it easy on him. That's a matter of interpretation. When he's wearing a WBOK radio headset, he's our employee and he's doing what he's supposed to do. We haven't had any problems at all with the way he's handled his business with Susan Hudson or the mayor or any public officials, whether it's JP, Red Bottoms or whoever. Look, I could criticize you. I could criticize every one of my on-air talents at some point in time. But Gerard has done a good job overall, and we'll stand by Gerard.
Hey, Troy, last thing. What do you tell these residents of the French Quarter, business owners in the French Quarter that love what IV Waste is doing and are very nervous, even upset of a lesser clean coming July 31st or August 1st? What do you tell these people as the owner of Henry Consulting and the future French Quarter trash cleaner?
I just tell them, look, sit back and wait and watch us perform. Look, I'm not going to tell them anything more than that. And look, we're the firm that won the bid, and we're the firm that's going to perform the service. And if you've got constructive things that you believe can help us be even better, we welcome those opportunities and those inputs. But I would hope that they wouldn't act on a sabotaging basis to try and hurt our performance in any way, shape, or form. I think we deserve an opportunity, and we're getting that opportunity, and we're going to do a great job.
You ensure that what they're getting now, they'll get at least that clean?
Look, the French Quarter is going to be super clean, and not only the French Quarter. I mean, there's a lot of things that Sidney Torres has done or has not done properly. Remember, this contract goes beyond the French Quarter. He was not flushing and sweeping downtown, the main streets in the downtown district. He wasn't doing that until a couple of weeks ago. So he was really breaching a portion of his contract. So he's trying to overperform to make an emotional ploy to keep his contract for a longer period of time. We're going to execute on the full scope of work of our contract, and we're going to do it in a professional manner. We're not going to have, like the video came out this week of one of his employees picking up a hooker and putting them into the street sweeper and people hanging out of cars and things like that he's had in the past. We're not going to have that. There will be a better and higher level of professionalism from my team than his team, and we're going to do a great job.
Wow, I didn't see the hooker thing. I almost forgot to ask you this. I'm sorry to keep saying last question. This is the really last question.
That's all right, Corey. I'm good. I got to leave at 5:30, so I'm good.
All right, good. All right, with the mayor, going to bat for you from the outside the bubble. You say, hey man, I earned the contract. Yeah, a lot of folks from the outside say the mayor is going to bat.
She's following the law.
Okay, no, I got you. With all that said,
Yeah.
Do we ever have to worry about Henry Consulting hiring Mayor LaToya Cantrell after she's out of office?
Of course not. I don't know. I'm not Henry Consulting, no. No, that's not a consideration.
No money will ever go to LaToya Cantrell from Troy Henry in the future.
Of course not. That's illegal.
No, it's not really. I mean, Press Kabikoff hired, quietly getting the job done, Mayor. Sydney.
Hold on. To ask that question sends a different message, Corey. I'll be honest with you, because if you have Sidney Torres on, he's got most of the city today that he picks up trash for. And will you ever ask him the same question you just asked me?
Of course I would. Of course I would. And if I apologize if it was insulting, but the reason I asked, because I've been talking about it a lot. And a lot of folks have called in and said, is this a quid pro quo? And I said, I have Troy Henry on all the time. He never shies away from coming on the show. I will ask him that question.
Sure. No, that's fair. But no, I mean, look, I don't do those kind of deals. Look, we won the bid fair and square. The mayor wasn't even part of the process. There was a selection committee. We won it. We beat everybody. We beat them by a lot of points, but over 50 points out of a 500 point scale system. And we're entitled. We have a right to perform on the project that we won. So regardless of all of the emotional hoopla that's going on, we need to get what we deserve, just like the residents would say they need to get what they deserve.
Ramelli says they won because you ordered it and jacked up the deal by $500,000.
Ramelli's full of crap, and he knows it. And if he really felt the way he feels now, he had a protest period that he could have protested the selection. He didn't do it. All he's doing is trying to muddy up the process to force a rebid. He knows it, and I know it. These guys ain't that smart. They're very, very transparent with their motivations. And so we won it fair and square. It was properly bid, properly secured. He shook my hand afterwards. So did Sidney Torres when they were announced. All they said was good luck and congratulations. So if they'd had any problems with us being selected, we were all in the same room when it was announced, and not a one of them raised an iota of an objection. So all this is just a bunch of a ruse to just try and force more controversy, to try and force a rebid, which isn't going to happen.
I said I wouldn't ask any more questions, so I'm just going to say this as like a statement, and you can do whatever you want with it, because I said I wouldn't ask another question. This doesn't have a question mark on the end.
You're good.
Six Flags?
Yes.
You can do whatever you want with that.
Oh, well, give you a quick update. I don't know if we talked since that, Corey. So, we've got our first tenant is under lease. We have completed the demolition. There is still some cleanup left. We are finalizing the facility condition assessment now that everything is done. And the facility condition assessment gives us the engineering guidance to tell us where we can build what we want to build. We've got a master plan that kind of lays it out, but they're going to tell us based on the soil conditions, the cement conditions, all of the different things, what we can do and where we can do it. That's being done right now. That's what the movie studio, which is our first tenant, is waiting for that to be done so they know exactly how they can position and locate the movie studio. We're in discussions right now, and I literally just got done with an email from one of the youth sports complex operators that we're negotiating with right now. So things are kind of running a little slower than we'd like, but things are kind of rocking and rolling there.
And I guess that engineering study's also going to tell you what you can keep, some slabs and things like that.
I couldn't hear you, Corey. I'm sorry. Say it again.
The engineering study will also tell you what you can keep, like concrete slabs and foundations that are in place already.
Yeah, because it may, we may be wanting to put a hotel somewhere where the slab isn't sufficient. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, but if we put a gym there, it might be sufficient. So all of that is part of what we're waiting on, that engineering analysis to see what is reusable and if we have to relocate things based upon that analysis. Troy,
thank you very much for all the time, especially the extra time with all the extra questions.
No problem, Corey. Anytime for you, man. I got to get to my boys' basketball practice, AAU basketball practice. So we got to get big game on Saturday in Mobile. So it's our last practice. So thank you, man. Keep up the great job, Corey.
That's the important stuff. Hopefully they'll be at the AAU fields at Six Flags one day.
Hey, it'll be Bayou Phoenix.
There you go. Exactly. No, you're right. You're right.
All right, Corey. Take care now.
You're right. Thank you, Troy.
All righty.
That's Troy Henry Consulting, joining us on the program. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. 766-9480 is how you can dial us up. 766-9480. That was an interesting chat. Troy brings up some interesting points, Miss Peaches. It's gonna be very interesting to see where this goes. I mean, you have a Wall Street Journal headline: "Why New Orleans is rallying to save a trash collector." But Wall Street Journal. I mean, that's like worldwide. Anyway, we'll see where this goes. I think Troy's a little upset about the LaToya Cantrell question, but I wasn't accusing. I was just asking. Don't ever have to worry about it. Sidney Bartholomew works for Press Kabakoff, but that wasn't like a quid pro quo. Press Kabakoff's been there like 25 years. He knows mayors in other cities. They get buildings built, but LaToya Cantrell not getting hired by anybody after her gig.
All I know is I have.
What's that? Number three.
All I know is I drive through the French Quarter every day to pick up my husband,
Yep.
and I'm seeing every day other businesses, newer businesses, adding that IV waste sign. And
yeah.
I'm sure they probably offered, but to put it in your window, you're voluntarily doing
Oh,
that.
no. People are asking for them. They're
so
asking for them.
But I'm seeing more and more added almost every day throughout the entire area. It's insane.
If I had to guess, I shouldn't guess. I don't know if it's organic, where an individual's making those signs, or Sidney Torres is making them, and they're just readily available for anyone that asks.
Interesting, yeah, how it works. But
I mean, if he's picking up your stuff, and maybe they're going, "Do you want a sign? Help support us." I have no idea how that's. Is it organic, or is anyway?
But you still have to willingly put it in your front window.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that means something to somebody that you're doing that.
I would still stick with what I originally said. Troy Henry won the deal, like he said. Didn't have his what together. City had to do an emergency contract. It was for a year. They should let it go for a year. And Troy Henry shouldn't get the deal like, "Hey, I got my what together now." I think he should just have to rebid on the next contract with everybody else or nobody else. Maybe he doesn't want to. Maybe he does, whatever. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. I don't think it's over. He's confident July 31st, August 1st, he's starting. If I had to bet on it, I guess I would bet he's going to start, but I don't think it's 100%. A court could rule on this. You have two lawsuits with a business owner and a resident that are suing. So you got the council suing.
In no way could this be up for a vote for the voters.
Oh, no,
in any capacity?
impossible.
That
No,
can't be done.
No, impossible. Too short a time, no way to get it done. No, just no. And it never would even get to that level. But that's what Baton Rouge is trying to do. They're trying to give the French Quarter autonomy where they can decide as the French Quarter who their trash contractors are and things of that nature. So we'll see how it goes. The French Quarter definitely needs more representation from its citizens. The problem is there's only about 3,500, 4,000 people that live in the quarter, and it's bigger than them, the neighborhood. They know it. They know they live in the quarter. They know the quarter is a tourist destination. A lot of parts of it. There's the quieter neighborhood parts of the quarter where you don't have the tourists. They all know the score. So it's not like, these people, most of them, not the idiots like by Havana Outpost, but most folks in the quarter are like, I live by the runway. I'm not complaining of planes flying over. They not complaining of the noise, the drunks, whatever. It's the French Quarter. They know it, But that doesn't mean they just get discarded and not represented. They deserve there almost should be a French Quarter representative, that only handles the French Quarter, the 6x8 blocks of the French Quarter on the council.
I agree.
But, I also think there should be a Vietnamese and a Honduran council member, not even necessarily elected. Just we have too much of a Vietnamese population in the east, and we have too much of a Honduran population in Gentilly and other parts of the city. I mean, Jefferson Parish definitely needs that representation. Now you can go, that's America. They'll run. Joseph Gow won. Who is it? Cindy Nguyen won. I hear you, but I just think, you know, a lot of these Vietnamese and Latino, I mean, just my opinion, I think they work really hard, especially compared to white and black New Orleanians. Generally speaking, a lot of black and white New Orleanians work their tail off. But as a community, the Vietnamese and the Latinos work. They grind. And I think, like, I don't have time for this politics crap. I got to work, you know? I think the gringos are like, I got time for this politics stuff because I can enrich myself and my friends and my family. Anyway, hey, Young's Dry Cleaning. I was out there today at their like headquarters, Franklin and Fillmore, their facility where they take care of you. Young's Dry Cleaning, a New Orleans institution. Tired of your dry cleaner? Simply want to experience the best? Young'sDryCleaning.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Mike? Yeah, is my mic on? I think so. It is? Okay, now you're right. It is now. Oh, I didn't think it was before. Anyway, I was saying Audubon Gutters put gutters on my house in October, and I don't think I'll ever need gutters again, and I definitely won't have to hire someone to get on a ladder and clean them. Get it and forget it. I got gutters featuring the Leaf Guard system from Audubon Gutters. Let me just tell you about Drew and his crew at Audubon Gutters real quick. They've been at it nearly 35 years. All they do are gutters. They don't do paint or roofs or siding or windows, only gutters. For your home or business, if you need gutters, Audubon Gutters happens to be the Gulf South's largest, most experienced gutter installation company. AudubonGutters.com. AudubonGutters.com. I talk from experience. Audubon Gutters on my house. Can you believe Troop NOLA's been here a year? Over 500 arrests. Violent crime dramatically decreased. Troop NOLA has made a huge impact. Now, proactive policing by the NOPD, you got to give him credit there. DA Jason Williams changing his tune from like hyper woke liberal, running for that office, getting into that office, and then changing his tune. And it might have been the carjacking, him and his mother getting carjacked. It could have just been, I mean, Jason Williams isn't stupid. He's actually very intelligent, has a lot of common sense. I think is a good person. He leans a little left from me, but I think he realizes, man, I don't want to be like these woke judges that are contributing to the crime problem, working with Liz Murrill, the Republican Attorney General in Baton Rouge. I think some hyper woke liberal New Orleanian Democrat with an agenda would have run from Liz Murrill and cooperating with the AG in Baton Rouge, would have run from that. Jason Williams, by changing, he's lost a lot of his base, a lot of people that vote for him by default, but now he's going against that hyper left, woke, loony left kind of mentality. And coupled with embracing a wacky right winger in Liz Murrill. She's hardcore right. She's not like mainstream Republican. She's hardcore. Liz Murrill's appealing the Fifth Circuit's decision on the 10 Commandments for political reasons. That's how she is. But I like her crime fighting, and I like her handling the Troop NOLA arrests instead of the city, and Jason Williams does too. So it's many spokes on the wheel. Jason Williams changing, Liz Murrill being involved, the Troop NOLA, Jeff Landry bringing Troop NOLA in. All these are positives. Proactive policing instead of reactive policing. One of the things that is understated was that whatever Operation Clean Sweep, whatever it was about a year ago, where they went out, it was 20-something plus agencies, all kind of different law enforcement, local and federal, local, state, and federal, like 20 plus. And they arrested 150 people in the metro. Now, you can think New Orleans has thousands of violent criminals. New Orleans doesn't. I remember when Jim Bernazani ran the FBI, he showed me the binder. It reminded me of my old doubloon binder. You open up the binder with the big rings, the clear pages. You had like 5 doubloons across the top by like maybe 8 down, and these plastic pages you turned. Instead of doubloons, it was criminals. There were about 400 hardened, violent criminals in that binder from the FBI. And basically, that's what you have today. It's about 400 or 500 hardened, violent criminals that make up the bulk of the crime in Metro New Orleans. And they grabbed about a third of them in one swoop. Operation Clean Sweep like a year ago. Under-talked about, underappreciated, one of the major spokes on the wheel in reducing that violent crime. 500 violent criminals, you're nailing a third of them in a day, 150 arrests of the violent criminals that you know are a pain in the ass? Are you kidding? So that dramatically helped. But Troop NOLA, a few things. It's not just law enforcement presence. It's the big SUVs. It's state troopers, not local. Just that mentality that the criminal thinks about. It's being able to circumvent the NOPD's consent decree, meaning they can pursue criminals. I mean, criminals in New Orleans, why do you think there was a proliferation of things that were kind of meaningless, that weren't major felonies, like four-wheelers riding around in groups, in clusters on Sunday, the drifting of cars, because there's no repercussions. No one was worried about the NOPD stopping you. And then if you run, the NOPD's not going to pursue you. There won't be a high-speed chase. The consent decree would not allow that. Troop NOLA, they circumvent that. They high-speed chase. No one likes that. I know a lot of people are like, well, there shouldn't be high-speed chases at all. Well, that just tells the criminal go rob the bank, and if you get in the getaway car, you've made it, because they're not going to pursue you. So no, Troop, no one wants us chase. But the criminals starting the chase by fleeing from police. They're giving law, enforcement no choice. It's an enhanced crime, obviously, when you have to, chase them down. Most of these idiots they chase down end up wrecking and crashing into something. Hopefully a pole or a tree and not another car with someone in it or people. And that's been the case most of the time. Again, the worst case scenario is the chase. But it can't be avoided, and it can't be, just let them go. It's dangerous. So chasing down these criminals has made these criminals go, wow, they're going to chase you. Carjacking's not so easy. Arresting people on four-wheelers and taking the four-wheeler away, and that guy going to jail. The word of that is spreading. So just... drifting. I mean, it grew to where, it was bad enough. It was like on Franklin and St. Claude or St. Bernard Avenue at Mirabeau or, Fillmore and Wisner, whatever. It was bad enough. It was at, intersections in the city. It got so brazen and so over the top and such a mentality of there's no consequences. First off, people were coming in from out of town, from other parishes, from other cities, as far away as Texas for drifting night, where we're going to find an area and drift cars. Coming with a van with extra tires and rims and jacks to swap out the tires when they blow them out from all the drifting. Literally. Somebody there to jack it up, switch out the tires, drift again. It got so brazen, they started drifting it like the base of the high rise. Like coming into the city, you're coming into New Orleans, on I-10, westbound, coming to the bottom of the high rise. You've gone over the bridge. There's a dude drifting in that area right there. And all traffic stopped. It's just crazy. And I talked about some dude in like a big truck with big old bumper guards on the bumper, like, the police units have, going to go ram someone drifting. They're going to ram someone drifting. There's going to be death or injuries. It's not a good thing. No, just in time, because if they're drifting on the I-10, come on, what does that say? Now, do you ever see any drifting anymore? Doesn't happen. So no one spinning the cars in major intersections, because Troop NOLA will bring you down. They will chase you. They will confiscate the car, and they will bring you to jail. There's no four-wheelers on Sunday. I mean, I'm driving around New Orleans every Sunday. A lot of the time right on Claiborne or Felicity, wherever. I used to see the four-wheelers all the time. You go to my YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson right now. Click on videos. One of them is me in the middle of a pack of four-wheelers and dirt bikes, no license plate, no helmets, totally illegal. I told you the time I'm on like Gentilly at Paris Avenue by that Popeyes. And I was turning to get on I-610. As I pass the Popeyes, I brake and I pull in because I see a guy sitting on a four-wheeler in the parking lot and a second four-wheeler right there. So I go park in the parking lot. I just sit there. This woman comes out carrying bags of Popeyes. So the dude sends his lady in to get the chicken. Unbelievable. Anyway, she comes back with the Popeyes, and she jumps on her four-wheeler. No helmets, no license plate, no brake check. Totally illegal. Drive right onto Gentilly Boulevard. I follow them like, are they going to get on I-610? They did. They just went straight towards like Dillard, towards Broad. But they're tooling down the street. So literally, in their minds, they're like, sure, it's against the law to have a four-wheeler on the street, but it's New Orleans. They don't enforce it. But Popeyes does. Popeyes won't let us go through the drive-through on our four-wheeler. Literally, they knew that, so they parked at the Popeyes, but driving on the street in New Orleans in the four-wheeler, that's fine. Going through the drive-thru at Popeyes, not allowed. That says it all. And then my last four-wheeler story, I'm on Claiborne's by Carrollton, by Old Palmer Park. There's a dude sitting under the tree on his four-wheeler. He's about 50. He ain't a 25-year-old kid or some teenage, 50-year-old man on a four-wheeler at Palmer Park, like about to go down Claiborne or Carrollton. I'm like, what the hell is this dude doing? You're a full-blown adult. What's wrong with you? It's the city of New Orleans. No, I don't see any of that anymore. None of that tomfoolery. No, I just don't see any of that anymore. That reminds me when folks like Rush Limbaugh has got a great sense of humor. I'm like, someone who uses the word jocularity for sense of humor doesn't have a sense of humor. That proves it right there. Rush saying jocularity, you don't have a sense of humor. Proven. That's right there. Fact. Anyway, Miss Peaches. Corey Johnson with you. 766-9480 is the phone number. 766-9480 on this Thursday afternoon. Can you believe it? The weekend's almost upon us. Yeah, you're right. Are you beelining across the causeway right now, heading to the North Shore? Perfect time to fire in a to-go order at Trey Yen. You're a hero when you walk in the house with a big to-go order from Trey Yen. I love the curbside delivery. I take advantage of that usually lunch, Tuesday through Friday, those lunch specials. I'll get it curbside delivery, pull right in front. They bring it right out to my car. It's tough to beat. Curbside delivery. Don't forget the Tong Cho sauce. Trey Yen in Mandeville. Yummy. Some of the best Chinese food in America. Yeah, and yeah, of course they have a dining room, you South Shore and North Shore folks. Head there tonight and dine in at Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters, and you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home, and right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson.
Women are often throwing clothing items at me, saying you're the possessor of the cool factor. I have to fight off the ladies.
90 minutes of fun every weekday afternoon on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333 from 4 p.m. to 5:30.
You see that, Miss Peaches? What would my mom call me? Well, tell everybody what she called me, Miss Peaches.
My angel?
There
Did
you
I heard
go.
that right?
Yep.
My angel?
Yep, not by my name. Gotta like that, huh?
I didn't know you were such a sweetheart.
I don't think I am.
angel.
I think my mom just is not, she's not fair and objective about it. She's biased on her baby. No,
You
no.
are her baby. That's
I'm number 5. So yeah, I'm the last kid. So I get special treatment.
that rolls forever. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
She's pretty sharp for 94, huh?
Very much.
Yeah, she still drives.
Oh, that's so
Plays
awesome.
bridge. What is this? Sudoku? What is it? Sudoku, whatever. Yeah, she does that.
Those are good brain games.
Yeah, no, she's physically and mentally there. She's only like 5 feet too. I think that helps. Literally, like she's like 5 feet tall. I'm like in between her height and my dad. He was like 6'1", 6'2". So I'm like kind of like right in the middle, like 5'7".
Oh wow, that was
I caught the middle.
standing together. Then
Yeah,
too, huh?
exactly. Anyway, yeah, angel. I like that. Yeah, I'm glad someone else heard it because it's like it's proof. It really happens. See, exactly. See what I mean? Oh boy. Hey, if you missed the 4 o'clock hour, Jeff Dorson joined us from the Humane Society. They saved 8 dogs. A guy gets arrested. Police, the guy doesn't say anything. The dogs are in his house for like a week or 2. No food, no water. They were emaciated. They almost died. 8 dogs. It's going to be about $1,000 a dog to save them. Please donate humanela.org. You know you'll be saving these dogs $5, $10. What a great way to start the weekend coming up. Saving animals' lives, humanela.org. Troy Henry joined us to start the 5 o'clock power hour from Henry Consulting. He's pretty confident July 31st, August 1st, he will be taking over that trash contract for the French Quarter and the CBD. And was very much, I asked him some pretty tough questions, and you can agree with his answer or not, like it or not, think he's full of it or not, but asked him the questions and he answered them. Even we never have to worry about LaToya Cantrell being on Troy Henry's payroll. You got offended by that. Was like, quid pro quo kind of thing. A lot of folks are like, why is she hell-bent on giving you the contract? Troy's like, because I earned it. I won it, And I was like, because my opinion is Troy Henry won it, then didn't have his you-know-what with Richards together where they're suing each other publicly. So the you-know-what's hitting the fan. And then we got Super Bowl coming up and all this. So we got to get it right. So it's an emergency trash contract. IV Waste wins it. They should get it for the year. And what the part I didn't agree with Troy's like, I got my you-know-what together and then I should have the contract. It's like, IV just cleans until you get your you-know-what together. So I think the fair thing would be IV Waste stays till December, what their emergency contract called for. And in a few months, like August, September, they bid on January 2026 and beyond, a new trash contract. And Troy Henry can bid on it. IV Waste can bid on it. Whoever wants to bid, or no one can. But I think that would be the fairest thing. That's where the citizens, I think, are taken care of best. Anyway, if you missed that Troy Henry interview, because we discussed a lot of stuff, including Billy Nungesser's comments about you're not a trash contractor, you don't have any trucks or a business yet, you got the trash contract. You don't own a janitorial service, you have the janitorial service at the airport. You're not a developer, yet you have the Six Flags site. This middleman thing is what Billy Nungesser was insinuating. And then like Oliver Thomas and the connection there. Troy Henry said as much, like brought up Oliver Thomas. Like, why'd you bring him up? Like, I know why he brought him up. I just wanted to hear Troy Henry say it. Anyway, pretty interesting stuff. If you go to the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube, a little after 6, after we're done live, you can go to today's program. And I would say that Troy Henry interview, that was in the second hour, about 60 minutes into the podcast. About 60 minutes in. That was about 20 minutes straight with Troy Henry. Hey, Lebanon's Cafe is open till 9:30. I picked up Lebanon's Cafe to go today. I got the chicken shawarma with some tabbouleh on the side and a fried football kibbe. Fried football kibbe is like a Lebanese meat pie. Fantastic. And tabbouleh is this, they say like a Lebanese salad, but when I think of salad, I think of like salad leaves This is chopped up parsley, wheat, olive oil, lemon, some salt and black pepper, might have some tomatoes and cucumbers. It's just lemony and really good. Actually, I old school because my Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, she would make these fried football kibbies. And I would scrape out the hashwi, is the Arabic term for the meat in the inside. I'd scrape out the hashwi, and I'd stuff it with either tabbouleh or this great Lebanese salad my Sittu made. So it would be the hot kibbe with the cold lettuce, and it just went together well. To this day, I take a fork and scrape out the hashwi out of the inside of the meat pie, and I stuff it with that tabbouleh. And that just goes together so well. The hot fried kibbe with the inside scraped out and stuffed with the tabbouleh. So good. So good. It's funny, all these Arabic words and terms I knew about all kind of stuff. The suet is the fat around the kidney of the lamb, which liquefies when you heat it up. I guess it's like a real thin fat. You use that for the kibbies that you put on the grill. My Sittu would grill kibbe. They're like a hamburger, and flip them. And then you would literally pierce the kibbe with a knife and kind of pinch it, and that liquid suet would flow out of the kibbe onto the plate. And it literally like wax over. It's like, lard basically. So that suet, it's the fat around the kidney of the lamb. But boy, talk about flavor, that kibbe and the barbecue would flavor that kibbe. Just fantastic. Pan kibbe's the best though. The diamond cut pan kibbe that baked. Well, actually, kibbe nay, the raw stuff is the best. And in New Orleans, we do it better than anyone, Miss Peaches, because people are eating that kibbe nay, the raw kibbe with pita bread. In New Orleans, you use French bread, and it absorbs more olive oil, so it even takes it up another level, an improvement with the New Orleans French bread kicker. Lebanon's Cafe open on 9:30. That's Blue Boys saying the weekend's already here. See you tomorrow, Fantasy Friday edition of the program, straight up 4 o'clock.
You're on the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.